She's waiting for Heather Lynn.
Okay. I'm hoping to get in.
I'll chat that, but
Okay, welcome everybody to the February 5th, 2025 zoning board of appeals meeting. We always start out with a pledge of allegiance. Who's that first?
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. We have a couple of pieces of business we take care of first, and then I'll give you some information on how this works. And we'll go from there. So we'll start out with a roll call. Robert Peckham, present. Beth Mossworth, Don Miglerini here, Christian Chamberlain
Here.
Heather Robinson,
Here.
Timothy Harrington,
Present.
and Aaron Lehman.
Present.
Great. With that, can I get a motion for the minutes for January?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, with regard to the meeting minutes for January 8th, I move to approve as.
So second.
Seconded by Christian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstained, one abstain is Beth. So meeting minutes carried or approved, thank you. Okay, for the group here, this is how the process works. We all have copies of your applications. We'll ask each one of you to come up individually here. We'll ask you to state your name and address clearly into the microphone for the record. And everything you're saying, Rose, please talk to the microphone as clear as possible so we have it on record. We will ask you a series of questions. Could be anything. We'll ask you to answer those thoroughly and make sure that we get what we need, and then we'll take a vote on whether it passes or not. Remember that all zoning applicants that come in here are coming in because you're asking for something that's not allowed in the zoning rule. And so we have to determine if that's something that's acceptable to the community, yourself, and we weigh that out and make decisions accordingly. If it's approved or adjusted in some way, we will have a letter sent out to you right away pretty quickly from the office, and then you'll still have to finish your process with the building department to get the permits finished and all that good stuff. So that's the general gist of it, and we can answer questions if you have any more. So with all of that said, we'll start out with application number 2024-151, James Nicholas. I'm sorry, James and Nicholas Fosco at 541 Pittsburgh, Henrietta, Illinois. Welcome.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Well, how are you?
Good. My name's James Bosco, 541 Pittsford Henrietta Town Line Road,
Thank you.
and we're looking to widen the driveway.
Can you give a little explanation of why you need the driveway widened, for what purpose and what included you to the size?
So we're looking to be able to store another car
Okay.
or a truck.
And you don't have space for
Say
that?
your name over there, sit down.
And you don't have space for that currently?
No,
Are the trucks or vehicles, whatever maybe that you're adding, are they licensed?
yes,
And all of them are currently registered?
yes,
And how many drives? So you only have 2 vehicles? Is that the case, or how many vehicles do you own?
there's 2 vehicles there, 3 vehicles there now that are all registered. An additional trailer to carry the cars at one point is probably gonna be what we'll need that for as well.
Okay. Do you guys store any of the vehicles in the garage or solely in the driveway?
We bring cars in there to do some repairs.
Okay.
Anyone else on the board have questions?
Oh, I do, Joe, sorry. More.
Someone look through.
I know, it was close. So right now, I guess the question is that, right now, is it basically tight with all the cars that you own currently and the trailers?
There's no trailer at this point, but yes,
Okay, you're basically filling up the driveway currently.
yes.
How wide is the driveway right now?
I think it's 10 feet.
That'll be almost 20, I think. It's 2 cars wide, correct? So it's
It's probably 12 and a half, 15 foot.
okay. It looks like a reasonably standard, maybe a little skinny, but reasonably standard 2-car wide. Perfect. Any other questions from board members?
Yeah, in your opinion, do you think this is consistent with the character of the neighborhood?
There's numerous driveways that have been widened on Pittsford Henrietta Town Line Road, but yes. I see no reason we're off our lot line by 6 to 8 feet. And there's really nowhere else to park a vehicle outside of the main driveway. So if I was able to have a little more room on the other side, then we'd be able to park a trailer there.
And you will be asphalt pavement, or are you planning to use a aggregate?
Well, I'll use an aggregate for the first year and so we drive and compact it, and then I'll go ahead and asphalt it.
Is there any way we can ask you to make that a smaller variance than what you're asking for? We always try to do that. for us.
No, I understand, I understand. If I could have the, 6 to 8 feet off my lot line, that would be optimal. If we had to cheat it down and give up, 9 feet, 10 feet, that'd be, kind of cutting it short, but yeah.
Any other questions from board members? Kristen, you're good? Are there any questions from members of the audience? Is there anybody on the Zoom? Or is it all us, just for the record?
I think it's just us. There's three participants.
Okay. I'll assume there's no other questions unless we get some info on there from, so with that, do we have enough information to make a decision for the board?
No comments from the.
Do you, do we, I'll check out you, are we thinking affirmative, positive here? Okay. Okay. With that, we can close this application.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to application number VBA 2024-151 for area variance, I move to approve as follows. Whereas the zoning board has duly advertised and held a public hearing, has considered all relevant information, and has considered the potential benefits of the applicant versus the potential detriment to the neighborhood or community in relation to such variance. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the zoning board of appeals makes the following findings of fact. The variance will not result in an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties, as other homes in the area have a widened driveway similar to what the applicant is asking. The variance cannot be achieved by some other feasible alternative. The variance is substantial. However, the benefits are justifiable, allowing the applicant to park all vehicles on the driveway. The variance will not have a negative effect or negative effect on physical or environmental conditions. The difficulties relating to such variance was self-created, as the applicant did the need for a wider driveway to properly park the vehicles and trailers. And be it further resolved that based upon the above findings, the zoning board of appeal hereby approved the variances as presented.
Seconded by John, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries, so
Thank you so much.
thank you. Just a curiosity question, is it dragster car?
What's that, sir?
Is it a dragster?
A dragster?
It looked like a neon with big fat front tires.
Well, it's a street legal car. It's just got big tires on it.
Okay, I just was curious if you raced it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day. Next, we have, 2025-001 on 209 St. Patrick Drive. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Joseph Malazzo, 209 St. Patrick Drive.
And I'm Heather Malazzo.
Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Milazzo, can you please tell us about current shed, size and condition?
The current shed is, it's still standing, but it's burnt from the fire in December. It's gonna be demolished as the weather turns better. But as far as the size goes, we were led to believe it was 24 by 24, which was pretty good size, but it was an L shape, so it wasn't like a big square. But that's gonna be demolished, probably in March when the snow goes away.
And so that translates 576 square feet, so that's huge, right?
Yes,
Well, so are you new to this property?
about 10 years.
Okay.
We've been there using that shed. We didn't put the shed there. It was already there when we bought the house.
Okay.
What was it used for before the December fire?
Mainly storage. We did have some pigs in there.
I hope they got out, okay.
They did. They've been rehomed.
Yeah, they're on a farm in
Yeah.
Madison.
So then what is the intent of the replacement going from 576 to request of 384 square?
Mainly for, my motorcycles, motorcycle lift, zero turn lawnmower, lawn furniture, smokers, barbecues.
Tools.
Yeah, tools, clean up the garage a little bit because there's no room in my garage.
So our concern is, consistent with, we need to look out for, the neighborhood, 380 square feet is large,
Mhm.
right? So will the 384 replace and go on top of the location where the larger one is, or a totally new location?
Totally new location. The other one was back in the back corner in between two trees.
And there's still part of it visible from the top of over the fence.
Yeah, it's still standing there right now. It's just all burnt and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firefighters completely like knocked down the framework. So it's just a frame, basically.
Got it.
How did you calculate the 12 by 32 and to define your needs for replacement shed?
well, what we did is we went shed shopping and, we saw, one we saw we liked and the size was 12 by 32 and we talked about what would go in it, as far as storage or Halloween decorations, a lot of it, but that's pretty much how we came up with it.
Yeah.
Can we, I'm sorry to interrupt. One of the things that I said a moment ago to the other gentleman is, we are always debating scale of this compared to compared to your neighbors, what we see there. And we always want to try and get it as small of a variance as possible. That's our, goal.
Mhm.
This is very large for us, so it's gonna be hard for us to say yes, and it's not impossible. We'll see what everybody votes, but I think it's on the board here if it's gonna be approved. Are you willing to get a smaller one that will that fit your needs enough to do it? Because I think you're gonna have troubles getting this approved through the board, from what I learned already.
I mean, there is a route to maybe try and get a smaller one, but the 12 by 32 just would fit us good. And the other thing we thought about was the 6-foot privacy fence. It's pretty much going to be blocked in and you're just going to probably see the roof. And we talked to our neighbors, they're all okay with it.
Yep.
So we just figured we would run with that one.
Just a thought to understand again from the board side, we have to think about this in the word that we sort of left on here, in perpetuity. It lasts forever. If we approve this now, it's good forever. So if your next door neighbors move out, it might hinder them from getting someone else to buy it if it's something they don't like the way it looks. And so we look at that as the character of the neighborhood, and that's a factor that we put into our decision. Tommy, so you understand what.
Oh, I understand. Yep.
Are you running electricity to the shed?
No.
And what, it, on here, it says it's gonna be on gravel, is that correct?
Yes.
What's the current one that has burned on?
The ground.
Just
The dirt.
Interesting. Good.
You can see tree roots coming up from underneath it.
Interesting.
Is the motorcycle lift, is that just like, just for storage in there? Or you're gonna be?
On a motorcycle lift, so I can put my bikes on them and work on them and tinker when I gotta get out of the house.
Change the tires.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it's not
Those are
powered.
big, right?
What's that?
Motorcycle lift is usually like a table.
That's like the size of this table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
So he doesn't have to lean over and do stuff.
I was just worried about like.
No, it's not heavy.
I'd also like to read this from a neighbor. We got an email in response to the mailers that go out for all these applications from Mr. Craig Woodward in 196 St. Patrick Drive. And we received notification of the hearing for the variance to zoning for the property at 209 St. Patrick. I'd like to offer the following statement. Having viewed the proposed position and location of the oversized shed for the property, I find nothing objectionable. Given that the location is inside the fenced yard and reasonably distanced from the edge of the property, and so long as the directly adjacent neighbor has no objections, I would encourage the board to grant the request. Would also encourage the property owners to consider using part of this new space in future springs to do their motorcycle maintenance in order to help reduce noise in the neighborhood during said maintenance. Sincerely, Craig.
It's duly noted. I mean, I could use it for that as well. I like tinkering on motorcycles,
I'm guilty myself. I would like to ask if there's any more board questions. I think there's a little bit of discussion here. Personally, we'll see.
I actually do.
Please.
So in terms of motorcycle maintenance, I'm assuming the type of motorcycle that you might have is a little something that would be pretty heavy, difficult to move around. You don't really want too much around you impeding that, tipping over, they're not fun to pick up, nor the damage.
Mhm.
The space that you're requesting, does that give you the space you need to safely make the maintenance that you normally do in terms of not having to worry about anything falling on you that's around you or anything falling off?
I mean, it would definitely give me more room, that's for sure. As far as falling down, you don't want those things fall, it's gonna be heavy, but yeah, it would help.
Yeah.
How many motorcycles are we talking?
I have 4.
Okay, so there are 4 there, I'm assuming full size, I don't know.
Yeah,
Not default,
they're all Harley Davidsons.
So
Yeah.
we're talking 5 to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, my road glide's 800 pounds.
So we're talking about pretty hefty, large motorcycles.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm assuming that when you are storing them, you have to kind of stagger them.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place in the garage.
Right?
Yeah, you can't move in the garage right now.
Exactly. So along with a 0-turn motor and 4 motorcycles, you're already taking up a lot of your space.
Mhm.
And then we have Halloween and other decorations.
Oh yeah.
They're
And
in,
lawn
yeah,
furniture.
they're in a loft in the garage.
So the size that you looked at when you were out shed shopping, you feel that that size shed will meet all of your needs now and in the future?
I mean, I'd like bigger, but this will work.
Okay.
There's gonna be a loft in the shed, which is where we figured we would put like my decorations and stuff, so they're out of the way. He doesn't have to worry about like when he pulls them down, they're gonna fall out, cause
So no Casper falling down.
Yeah.
Headless horseman. 12 feet tall.
Just to get perspective of what,
Yes.
inside. Thank you.
I think it would benefit him too, just because it is so crowded in that garage, that'll give him more space. Cause he's got all of his tools. The guy builds like an, like a, I can't even think of it, like a stand already built in.
A table.
A table, thank you, a work table, yeah,
Yeah.
that we, it was already pre-built in there, so the space is very confined, so. We just thought this would fit the needs that we have and what we already have currently.
Thank you.
What are the footprints of the old burn shed once you have demolished it?
We're gonna close in the fence and that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
Cause the fence,
It's on the ground.
Right, but grass, gravel.
oh yeah,
Oh,
grass,
grass.
yeah.
Grass.
That answer the questions for this.
How roughly, so you have a 1-car garage,
Yes.
How, roughly how big is your house?
I think it's 13 or 1400 square foot.
Any other questions from the board? Are there any other questions from the audience? No. And I'm still assuming that there's nothing on either side, but she'll give us a thumbs up. Thank you.
There's only two people on participating, so I don't believe there's any comments.
Okay. So with that, I think I would like to close this application, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a discussion here too. Our discussion is not asking, you'll want to answer because you'll hear us talking, but we don't ask you, we ask you not to while we're talking about this. We'll call you back up after a few minutes and you can hear everything we're saying, but you can't respond until we ask you again, okay? So I'll have you have a seat, we'll close the meeting for a minute, I guess it's the right way to say it, and we'll have our discussion and then we'll climb back.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. So, let me just ask a simple straw poll first.
The simple answer is, I'm okay with it. And it's an interesting situation, looking from an aerial, and I looked at street view from the highway. I don't think you'd be safe from the highway, it's very wooded. And there's nothing behind them but woods. And the fence is really gonna hide most of it.
It's also, there's no through traffic either, because it's a.
At minimum, it's quiet.
Right.
Heather?
I'm on the fence, I think what I'm having trouble is kind of having seen everything in the shed. Quantified the size of the shed, I still think it's too large, so.
I'm with you, and I can understand, I only have 3 motorcycles. They take up a lot of space, but at the same point, it's sort of independent in my opinion. It's a component, but it's not all of what I'm thinking about for this question, so
But
I'm on the
yeah,
fence
and
too.
it's also like you said earlier, it's like in perpetuity of the property, so it is quite large for the property, so.
I agree.
I think another perspective here is, in a strange way, it's a downsize from something that was already accepted probably for a very long time.
That's a fair statement, but at the same point, just because it was there doesn't mean that makes it.
Right.
We shouldn't necessarily grandfather just because it was there improperly.
That's fair, because I was just thinking in terms of the character.
But as far as the neighborhood,
Yeah.
that's a fair statement. But two, Bree?
I believe that this is appropriately sized, is a 1-car garage. I don't know what the basement space is, but you can't do motorcycle,
Yeah, I would.
let alone store anything like, because you're no.
So you're good with them. Okay, that makes it easy. Excellent. So with that, I will reopen the session. Sorry to make you sit. I wasn't sure where it would go.
No, it's not. This is our first time ever coming to a board meeting and stuff, so this is.
Hopefully we didn't scare you too much. Even
No,
though we had that.
no,
There is a chance that it wouldn't go through, but it looks like it probably will. So
I find it very interesting.
Good. I hope we were informative enough for you.
Yes,
too, so.
very.
So with that, I would like to. Oh, are there any other questions now that we've had this little discussion? Any other questions from you guys? With that,
Nobody on.
nobody else. Okay, thank you. So with that, we can close the application. Mr. Harrington,
Mr. Chairman, with regard to application number ZBA 2025-001. For an area variance, I move to approve as follows. Whereas the zoning board has duly advertised and held a public hearing, it's considered all relevant information, and has considered the potential benefit to the applicants versus the potential detriment to the neighborhood or community in relation to such variance. Now therefore be it resolved that the zoning board of appeals makes the following findings of fact. Variance will not result in an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The application is a request for a 380 square foot shed to replace a failed and burned 576 square foot shed, which will improve the look of the property. A neighbor on the street, Craig Woodward, emailed to express his support of the request. The variance cannot be achieved in some other feasible alternative with a 1-car garage. The The family needs a replacement shed to house a large mower, tools for motorcycles and other miscellaneous items. Variance requested is substantial. At 384 square feet, this is a substantial request. But given the loss of a 576 square foot shed and only one car garage, this seems a reasonable compromise. The shed is also tucked behind a solid wood fence to block it from street view. The house is at the end of a dead end street. The variance will not have a negative effect on the physical or environmental conditions. In fact, the old shed will be removed and replaced with grass. The difficulty relating to the variance was self-created, given the collection of items that need storage limited to a one-car garage, and losing the existing shed, a replacement solution is necessary. And be it further resolved, based on the above findings, the zoning board of appeals hereby approve the variance as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Beth, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. There's two opposed, but the motion carries anyways, so you're all good. The other, that passes, so it'll follow the process we said. One other thing that I wanted to say, or at least ask, I don't think you're allowed to have things there. Is that a fair statement? So as a residential neighborhood, that isn't, you can't have farm animals.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we got rid of
Harleys are accepted.
Is that what you meant when you said that?
it. No,
Okay. I just
the hogs.
That's why
Yeah,
I just realized it could be a joke.
yeah, they're little tiny pigs.
I'm sure they're adorable and all that great stuff too.
Yeah. That was a her thing.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine, I
All
understand.
that stuff's used there. Anyhow, good luck, ride safe.
Thank you.
Wear the right stuff. With that, we can close this meeting.
Have a good night.
You as well. It's 7:27.